What's up, gamers? Yep, I'm already back with another review for the second day in a row, but this will be a quick one. After yesterday's video, one of my friends said I sound nervous and that I need to be more exciting. So today, I have one less friend, fuck that guy, and I'll try to make it a bit more entertaining for you all. So just to be upfront with you guys, if you already have a V2, I wouldn't bother upgrading to the V3. And if you don't have a Bungee yet, either one of these will be just fine, and it will probably come down to personal preference on what you think looks better. On that note, the V3 does come in an RGB version called the Chroma, where RGB lights shine out the bottom of the base if you want it to be extra pretty. So after hand testing the Razer Bungee V3 for several hours, I found that it works really well with the G Pro wireless. Right now, you can buy either of these bungees for $19.99. The V2 is 8.6 ounces. And the height is 120 millimeters. The V3 is 8.5 ounces and 115 millimeters in height. Now the height is going to be the distance from your mouse pad here up to the very bottom of the channel for your cord. And I took that using grandma's sewing tape. So it might be off by a millimeter or so, but just know that the V3 is just a little bit shorter than the V2. So now to cover all the differences in design, we'll start with the tips and then work our way to the bottom. So the channel on the V2 is a little bit larger than the V3. The rubber is also softer, so you can kind of pry it open if your cable doesn't go in very easily. Now the channel on the V3, it is quite a bit smaller. You can see that my cord here isn't able to fit all the way into the channel, but it fits in enough that honestly it's probably not going anywhere, which is what really matters. Also, the cable on this mouse, the Xtrfy M4, is a little bit larger than some others. So if you have a mouse with a smaller cable, it might fit a little easier than this one. Just a heads up though, when you go to put your cord in here or your cable in, just make sure you don't try to force it in. Instead, just go ahead and kind of just slide it upward into the channel. And that should be a little bit safer, just to make sure you don't accidentally damage your cord when trying to get it into the rubber. Now, let's talk about shafts. So the shaft on the V2, it's a little stiffer, and it makes a little bit more noise than the V3. The V3, it's a little floppier, a little more quiet, but being honest, when I'm gaming, I don't notice either one making any noise. So that's pretty much a non-issue, but figured I'd mention it nonetheless. The thing that I do like about the V2 is it has 3 contact points for your cord. So if you look here, you have a contact point here, you have a contact point here, and you have a contact point here to guide the cord down the back of the bungee. Now if you compare that to the V3, you're going to notice that you really only have one, which is right here. It's just a little tab. I don't know, your cable could potentially rest in the groove they have here for it, but there's nothing to hold it in, so mine just kind of keeps falling out. So I think they could have done a little bit better job on the V3 with that, but I don't think it'll be an issue either way, but maybe a step backwards there on how it's managing your cord. So overall thoughts, personally I prefer the V2. It's 5 millimeters taller, and although that's obviously a small difference, the taller the bungee is, the better job it does of keeping your cord off your mouse pad and reducing drag. And I also feel that the design is a bit more thoughtful in the V2 on how it's handling your cord. But to be honest with you, I'm just disappointed in the V3 just because really the only thing they added was some RGB to it. I would have loved to see them add either a version that's fixed but just quite a bit taller, or else maybe go on the adjustable route like the Camade II. So if I was buying my first bungee right now, honestly, I would buy the ZOWIE Camade II. It's taller than both of these by a fairly significant amount at the highest setting, but can be adjusted down if you prefer a shorter bungee. And if you want to see a review of how the Camade II stacks up to these two bungees, I do have a video where I compared the Camade II to the Razer V2. And I'll leave the link in the description for you if you do want to check that out. But just be warned, the video quality is absolute shit. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching the video, and like usual, if you enjoy the content, please don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you guys in the next one.